I'm Caitlin and welcome to the Lit Review. Today I am doing my announcement / recommendation video for July's book covered book club. And the theme for July is the color white. Anything goes there, my friends, as you shall see. So if this is your first time joining us for the book covered book club, welcome. I have a lot of information to throw at you really quickly. So I will link below the Google Doc that will have all of the information for the dates for the focus week if you would like to participate there. Because here at the Book Covered Book Club, we have the rule where you can do like one book all month or multiple books throughout the month. You can do as many as you want during the focus week if you'd like. It's all about options for you. So the focus week is not something you have to participate in. It's just there for you if you'd like to tune in and check it out. So the dates for that will be in the Google Doc. The Google Doc below also has linked all the potential prompts that are listed here in our little jar. And at the end of the video, we will be pulling August's theme together to see a little bit in advance what's going on in August. We added, I believe, 2 new things to this month, so they have already been added, and the new Google Doc will also have the updated things in there as well. You're always free to suggest prompts, but please, all I ask is that you check to see that it's not already represented in the Google Doc. But as you can see, there are plenty of little slips of paper with your recommendations as well as some of the things I've included in here as well. But we will get back to this at the end of the video. So there's never any group book here. This is all about covers and the way that covers draw us in. So it really gives you the freedom to pick anything that you like. And this video is about me culling through my shelves and showing you what options I've found that fit the prompt. Prompts can range from anything to obviously a color or maybe a visual theme, like something I think last month we added spooky or magical as things in there. It could also be an actual image. One of our first ever ones was a airplane. So anything could go here. It could also be a trend. A couple months ago we did illustrated covers. So it could be just about anything that's represented on book covers. And this month it's the color white. So this is our second month in a row doing a color, but wow. I have giant stacks over to my left here of books that have the color white on them. And here's the thing. I limited myself to only pulling covers that had either predominant white as a color or really strong pop of white, but you can do anything you want for this. It's really about what you want to read and making it work. If you want to count like the tiniest scrap of white on the cover as being there, it's valid. I did not pull books this time around that used white font over much like some of them do, but I didn't focus on that. If I had pulled all the books with white font, we'd be here forever. So what I'm going to do, I didn't organize these into genre piles this time. I'm just going to go through all the books that I own that have predominant white on them, and then we're going to have a focus on design moment. And that's where I tell you a little bit about a cool cover and the designer or illustrator behind that. And it's just a little segment that I like to do to highlight the amazing people who bring us the book covers that offer us such joy. But now that I've given you my whole spiel, let's get into actually looking at some book covers, shall we? Like I said, normally I enjoy separating them out into genres and talking about trends and potential connections, but there's so many dang books that I needed to stop. And so they're in a really haphazard formation, but I'll talk about some things as we go along. Not going to give synopsis of anything, just going in for the title and the author. So I have this battered and beloved copy of Julie Garwood's The Secret. Even though it's faded to a cream color, Fires of Winter by Joanna Lindsay is a white cover. If you own the versions, I believe these are the UK versions of like Throne of Glass. I only have this in Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, but clearly the white's used really effectively as a stark background for this core image here. And also, while we only own Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson in this edition, I know a lot of the UK editions have this really stunning white background that does like very similar things where it's like drawing you to the art of the main character. So these could work. There's a lot of like white and gray on the cover for Kill the Queen by Jennifer Estep. And then there's a lot of white tones in An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I've also got some gradient white in The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. And I think that gradient is another trend that I see with white covers or covers that have any degree of white on them, because you can look at Sabaa Tahir's An Ember in the Ashes and this kind of stark white getting down to a more like gradient with grays and into those faded reds. It's really effective and draws the eye in to the use of the other color as well as to the white. So again, stark white with a cool image seems to be a good way to go as a cover trend. But the entire series in this style of covers by Sabaa Tahir would get you there. I'm not pulling them all out, but these all count. I only own the first book in this series, but Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi would definitely count with the main character's gorgeous white hair on the cover. If you're looking for something a little smaller, this French translation of this novella, The Governesses by Anne Serre, would be a good choice. Again, really using that white cover with silhouettes to high effect. The original cover of Boy Next Door by Megan Cabot, I think this has been republished, but the original cover definitely has a lot of white. This one's a bit more focused on the other colors, but Red Sister by Mark Lawrence definitely has a lot of white if you're in a fantasy mood. And then again, it's really showing that white is kind of a neutral with emphasis, but Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens with this cover is a great option. Here's maybe my one example that I have that white is more of an accent color than the predominant color, but it's The Rook by Daniel O'Malley, and here the text is white. And I bring this one up because this could work, but its sequel, Stiletto, could also work really well, and this one has a much more dominant white cover. This is another example of me only pulling the first book in the series, but the whole series works, and that's A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. All of the covers use white as a really grabbing neutral to make the black and red pop. I don't know if you're noticing this, but I'm definitely noticing this. White and red are often paired together because it's a really bold, grabbing color combination. Then this one, it's almost more of like a light cream, but it definitely is reading white on camera here. And this is Good Morning, Good Night, Little Pep Talks for Me and You, Lin-Manuel Miranda, illustrated by Johnny Sun. This is a really good pick for you if you're looking for something quick and peppy and like something that's going to help you get through. Then my personal favorite one that I read last year is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. The Royal Runaway by Lindsay Emery. Volume 1 of Fence. I think the whole series of Fence has a lot of white in the cover because of fencing's like uniforms are often this beautiful stark white. So Fence is by C.S. Picot, Joanna the Mad, and Joanna Lafuente. Then this little one-off I have here, Kill Shakespeare, McCreary, Delcole, and Bellinger are just the names up top. But the Kill Shakespeare series has a lot of like graphic white both on the top and then like throughout the images. This also would work. This is my collected volume of Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan, Pia Guerra, and Jose Marzan Jr. Then I have this copy of Feminism is for Everybody, Passionate Politics by Bell Hooks. This, again, the white is really beautiful to capture the black and white image. It fits with the cover, and then there's a little bit of red on the back. So again, that theme of white, black, and red kind of becoming a trend when I'm looking at all of these covers together. Speaking of which, Wake of Vultures by Lila Bowen, continuing that trend. And another example of me just pulling the first book because the whole series does this. But if you have these covers of To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, the whole series has this kind of like blown out, the colors are kind of like blown out, not quite faded, but definitely looks like it has almost a vintage filter on it. But the whole To All the Boys series has these gorgeous white covers, unless you have the movie tie-in editions, which might be slightly different. Then I also have The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Again, white being used as a really powerful neutral to make the colors pop. Another great way white is used on covers. If you're in a non-fiction mood, I have a couple of random picks for you here. And that is Me, Stories of My Life by Katharine Hepburn. Really, for such a complex and interesting woman, the cover of this is pretty straightforward. And again, red, white, and black. Then we have David Sedaris's Theft by Finding, Diaries 1977 to 2002. Jim Henson, The Biography by Brian J. Jones. Desi Liu, The Story of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz by Coyne Stephen Sanders and Tom Gilbert. Okay, if you're looking for something a little bit more creative, there's Embrace Your Weird, Face Your Fears, and Unleash Your Creativity by Felicia Day. Some anti-racism reading for you, Me and White Supremacy, Combat Racism, Change the World, and Become a Good Ancestor by Layla F. Saad, as well as Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo Lodge. This is also a really cool use of the color white as well as being like part of the title, because the white background helps remove and erase the idea of the phrase "to white people," which really hammers home the content and the cover of this as well as the title. So it does really interesting things to have this be a white background of a cover design and then also have some of the text be white, so it just kind of almost like fades and it becomes a real moment of commentary. So it's a really cool piece of cover design here. This is part of a series, but I think it's the one that has the most white on the cover, and that's Enjoy the View by Sarah Morgenthaler. And this is kind of one of those standalone in a series sort of things where you don't actually have to have read the whole series to enjoy this. Then there's this beautiful evocative cover, Glitter by April Lynn Pike. It's the total cover buy for me. Then Radio Silence by Alyssa Cole. The white here is not even really the dominant color, but it does kind of have like that gradient thing, again, with red. Just saying. I have Seduction, Sex, Lies, and Stardom in Howard Hughes's Hollywood by Karina Longworth. This is another cover that's using the color white to help mask and prove its point, and that's Invisible Women by Carolyn Criado Perez. It's about data bias in a world designed for men. So like the female silhouettes are also in the same color as the cover so that they kind of get erased. So again, much like Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. So the cover does some of the work that the title is trying to describe to you. And again, we have this color scheme of white, black, and red to help focus our eye. That's A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. Then I also have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Read this recently, really enjoyed it. Lord Holt Takes a Bride by Vivian Lorette. And she's just got a really pretty white dress on. So, you know, typical romance trope. My last one is going to be our focus on design. And it's going to seem like a really familiar cover here to you. That is my 25th anniversary edition of Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. And the 25th edition in particular has the white background, but this cover design, even in its many color options that we've seen it in over the years, is iconic. And I think the white of this edition really makes it pop. And again, that good old trend of white, red, and black is really coming through. This is a very classic color combination. It really does help to have the neutrals and the bright colors. Often you'll see it like in this one, you can see it's been flashing in my ring light, but the foil really does make something like this pop. It happens quite frequently. So let's talk about the person responsible for this cover design, shall we? So this edition of Jurassic Park is designed by Will Staehle. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I did some quick Googling and that was the best I could come up with. But chances are that you know this illustrator's work really, really well. So in addition to Jurassic Park, he has also done a lot of work with Michael Crichton. In particular, he's highlighted Timeline on his website. By the way, I'll link his website and his Instagram down below so that you can check out the rest of his work. I'm using my handy dandy phone here to scroll through and show you some of his other covers, but I will actually put the covers up here so you can see them in all their glory. So some other recent releases that I've noticed, he's done The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey, and I love the cover for The Echo Wife. He's also done, so unsurprisingly, this is like, I'm learning here too, he's done the covers for V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic series. So this, look at the beautiful relationship between these two books, not just in their color theory, but in the use of negative space, because I'm seeing that immediately as a potential trend for how I would identify his style. He's really good at using intricate details, but using negative space or neutral space to kind of play off of that. It's really powerful. You can see it on his use for dragon teeth. in Michael Crichton's book there. He's also done Vicious by V.E. Schwab. He's done this version of It for Stephen King, which I think of as a really iconic cover for that book, even though that's not my ish. I do not mess around with horror like that. He's done a lot of books for Michael Chabon. So Cavalier and Clay, the Yiddish Policemen's Union, which I have read and really enjoyed. He's also done Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. So again, working for some of the same authors again and again. I'm noticing that when a author and an illustrator or designer have a good relationship, you'll see multiple books designed. And I think that it really helps build a cohesive sense of work for the author and the illustrator. So Magic for Liars is one that I really want to read. I own that one as well. Speaking more about Stahl's work, if you've read Madeline Miller's Circe, you've probably picked that up because of the cover, because that cover is really gorgeous. And again, shows the use of negative space, because so much of the depth of that cover is because of the black background and then like that gold bronze, detailing, which I love. Let's see, what else? Oh, I also recognize The Whisper Man by Alex North. This would also be a great option for the book club. I don't own it, which is why I'm not necessarily featuring it, but that's a white background right there. And again, negative space. So that one could be a good fit for you. Wow, so many books. Oh my gosh, he's done Artemis with Andy Weir, The Maidens with Alex Michaelides. Oh my gosh. So he's done so much. I have to stop myself because he's done so many covers. I did not know this man's name until today. And hopefully you can see all of the amazing work that he's done as an illustrator and a designer in the realm of books. So the chances are, if you've picked up any of those books because the covers really grabbed you, you owe a little bit of a tip of the hat to one Will Stahl. So that's super cool. This is so cool. I love doing the focus on design because I get to learn all these little connective pieces from the realm of cover design in books. Like, it's just so exciting to me. So hopefully you found inspiration from Will and any of his books, or any of the books from my shelves that I've pulled for you that have white as a predominant cover. Feel empowered to use as minimal white as you want to check something off for this book club. Again, you can participate throughout the entire month of July if you want to utilize the focus week. I will put the focus dates right here. I should also mention that we do have a Discord for the Book Covered Book Club. It is very chill, very low stakes. We'd all just kind of check in a couple times a month, have some nice little chats, very low stakes, very pleasant experience for me as somebody who does not want to be in a barrage of things all the time. I get overwhelmed sometimes by social media. So it's very, very calming, our little Discord family. And I've gotten some killer recommendations from you all in the past. So it's been a really good time. That information is also linked down below if you're interested in joining. But if for some reason none of this sparked your interest, or you just don't have time this month, don't worry. We're gonna pick August theme together right here, right now, so that you can prep for August if July is just not for you. That's okay too. So go into our little TBR jar here and I will randomly draw a prompt for next month. Oh, okay, interesting. This will happen in August, but the prompt is big bloom. So like a big flower. Specifically, it could be flowers, but big flowers. Not like little ones. This one does have a size reference, but a big flower. Okay, interesting. This is going to be our theme for August. Curious. Hopefully you found some inspiration here, and that I also hope you're having a good time with the Book Covered Book Club. It has been a joy for me, and I also need to figure out what the heck I'm reading that's going to fit the prompt this month. I don't know yet, so we'll see what happens. Feel free to shout out down in the comments if you have strong feelings about what I should try to read this month too. We'll see what happens. So thank you for spending time with me. I hope you have a fantastic reading day. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me or this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.